3 words: idiot, idiot, and idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you.
It's just an idiot. He's just an idiot. That's all there really is to it, because he thinks he's smart. But he ain't smart, he's an idiot. Because it's more personal, on a personal level, a family level.
Is that family name?
Yeah, on a more personal level. For me, it's like, you're an idiot. And
so to lose this fight would hurt you?
It would hurt, yeah. It would definitely, it would hurt. I fear losing this more than I love the idea of winning.
Conor Benn isn't just stepping into a fight. He's walking into a reckoning. This war runs deeper than hype. It's driven by vengeance rooted in generations of unfinished business. For Benn, this isn't about titles, clout, or headlines. It's about silencing the name that's haunted his bloodline for years. He doesn't fantasize about winning. He fears losing. And that fear doesn't weaken him. It turns into something primal, obsessive, relentless. Across from him stands Chris Eubank Jr., the living embodiment of everything Benn wants to destroy. A symbol of pain, arrogance, and history that refuses to fade. But Benn isn't led by raw emotion. He's consumed by purpose, the kind that doesn't allow for failure. The question is, can Eubank endure a man who sees defeat as a kind of death? The pressure is volcanic. And by the end of this, someone's legacy will be scorched.
He's been in with the better fighters, but every time he steps up, he's fouled. With the trajectory I was on, there was still no ceiling. We still didn't really know much. Obviously, I've knocked out former world champions. I've knocked out people who have, who have had 50-50 fights with, the elites. And if not knocked people out better than the people everyone seems to be putting up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But I'm just getting started.
Conor Benn isn't just blowing smoke. He's carving a brutal line in the sand. He views Chris Eubank Jr. as a man who shared the ring with big names, but consistently crumbled when the pressure peaked. Benn's rise has been nothing short of explosive, raw, unfiltered, and unpredictable. There's been no ceiling, no formula, just pure destruction. He's already iced former world champions, dismantled fighters who've gone the distance with legends, and made short work of opponents others struggled to outpoint, all before hitting his prime. While the boxing world crowns others as elite, Benn has already eclipsed their accomplishments with less experience and more devastation. Eubank, in contrast, represents the old guard, a relic of a fading era. But Benn's message is clear and merciless. He's just getting started. And the real question hanging in the air is this: how do you stop a fighter who hasn't even peaked, yet is already tearing through names like they're nothing?
The time coming, over 2 years we've waited, so I feel like the date's coming closer and closer to us. But all that time he's been working on different aspects of his game, and I think he's a lot more improved now than he was 12 months ago. So it's going to be a tough fight, because both Conor and Chris Eubank, as we all know, the history of the fathers, there's a lot of pride there between both of them, so you're going to expect them both to come in tremendous condition for the fight.
Tony Sims knows better than anyone that this clash has been simmering for over 2 years, and now, with the moment finally closing in, the tension is reaching its boiling point. Behind the scenes, Conor Benn hasn't been idle. He's been obsessively refining every aspect of his arsenal. Sims insists Benn is a completely different beast compared to just a year ago. Sharper, smarter, and far more dangerous. But this isn't just another fight. It's a war soaked in legacy and driven by pride, with the weight of their father's history casting long shadows over the rivalry. Both Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. are expected to step into the ring in peak physical condition, each carrying the burden of unfinished family business. But this bout isn't just about technique or talent. It's about honor, identity, and vengeance. And that volatile mix makes this fight a powder keg of emotion, ready to detonate the moment the first bell rings.
And I understand and get it. Now, I'm friends with Conor, I've known him a long time, just before he got into professional boxing. He's a lovely young man, he's a lovely kid. I'm not the greatest fan of Chris Eubank Jr, but I tell you what, I admire the control the boy has over things. I must admit, I mean, the boy's in such control when it comes to press conferences. He's playing it like he's the orchestra, and he's the guy at the front.
Tony Bellew doesn't just pick a side. He throws fuel on the fire and ignites it himself. He's all in for Conor Benn, praising him as a no-nonsense warrior who was battle-hardened long before he ever stepped into the professional spotlight. But the moment Chris Eubank Jr.'s name comes up, Bellu's tone shifts to pure disdain. There's no filter. He calls it like he sees it. To Bellu, Eubank isn't charismatic. He's calculated, cocky, and more showman than soldier. He dismisses Eubank's press conference theatrics as ego-driven performances lacking any real substance. In Bellu's eyes, Eubank isn't chasing legacy. He's chasing attention. Meanwhile, Bellu's respect for Benn runs deeper than just boxing. It's emotional, almost paternal, like watching family head into war. What started as a rivalry has morphed into something bigger, a clash between respect and reputation. And Bellu has made it unmistakably clear where his loyalty lies.
Excited, but it's madness. It's crazy. It's taken over the country a little bit, and it's done that because it's crossed over commercially. It's huge. It's absolutely huge because every era and every different type of generation buys into it, Jim, and that's what makes it big. The grandmothers in the bingo halls are talking about it. When he slaps an egg off the side of his head, which I don't like and I think is a bit dangerous and stupid, it takes it to another level commercially, and like I said, it's out of control.
Tony Bellew launches a scathing attack on the media circus surrounding this fight, tearing into the hype machine that's turned boxing into more spectacle than sport. He sets his sights squarely on Chris Eubank Jr., accusing him of dragging a proud, punishing craft into the realm of gimmicks and self-promotion. From egg-smashing stunts to smug grins and scripted drama, Bellew sees Eubank's obsession with theatrics as a mockery of what should be a brutal, honorable showdown. In stark contrast, Conor Benn remains locked in, focused, disciplined, and deadly serious. To Bellew, Eubank is turning a generational blood feud into a circus act, and what's worse is how eagerly the public is buying into it, from hardcore fans to casual viewers lured by chaos over combat. Bellew doesn't deny the commercial appeal. The numbers speak for themselves, but in his eyes, that's exactly the problem. Boxing's soul, he argues, is being sold off for clicks, not glory. And to him, that's not just a misstep. It's a deep insult to every fighter who's ever bowled for honor, not headlines.
I have never in my entire life witnessed anyone work so hard as Conor Benn in training camp. And if Conor Benn loses, and I don't believe he will, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I've done absolutely everything I can to win this fight. And he will win this fight. And he will knock Chris Eubank out inside 4 rounds. That is my prediction.
That's my prediction. And Eddie Hearn shares it with unwavering conviction. He's not just backing Conor Benn like a typical promoter. He's staking his name, his legacy, and his belief in what he calls the most focused, driven fighter he's ever worked with. For Hearn, this fight goes far beyond hype or commercial value. It's a personal testament to Benn's unrelenting commitment. He talks about Benn like a man possessed, someone who has channeled every ounce of pain, legacy, and purpose into a singular mission: to destroy Chris Eubank Jr. The burning question isn't if Benn will win, but how quickly. Hearn's prediction is bold. Benn ends it early, inside 4 rounds. Not because Eubank is weak, but because Benn is on another level, both mentally and physically. Hearn scoffs at any suggestion that Eubank stands a legitimate chance, calling it wishful thinking from fans who mistake flash for fire. He doesn't sugarcoat it. If Benn loses, it won't be due to lack of effort, preparation, or heart. But Hearn doesn't see that scenario unfolding. What he sees is a fighter peaking at the perfect moment, ready to dismantle the symbol of a rivalry that spans generations. In Hearn's eyes, this isn't just a fight, it's a reckoning. And Eubank Jr. won't survive it.
Junior, I mean, he's stylish and he's skillful. And if that Liam Smith defeat, which worries me a bit for Chris, if that's sort of part of the past, that the rematch was emphatic for Eubank Jr., but it wasn't Liam's night really, and he had an injury going into it. So that defeat that Eubank suffered worries me a bit, but he's fought in better company, and Conor Benn's got it all to prove. But if there's one guy that wants it more, it's Conor Benn. There's no doubt about it.